Good evening, Night City. I've been holding that in for so long. So it is no secret that I, among with the select few, are one of the few people that sat through everything that went in with Cyberpunk. I have some of them here. I have a wide variety of what they know and what they've experienced with Cyberpunk here. So, just saying, when I heard that my boy's studio, Hiroyuki Mishi, the person who originally made the anime that literally, at my darkest point of my life, no exaggerations, literally saved my life, changed how I think about all things in my personal being. I would not be anywhere where I am if I did not have Gurren Lagann in my life. I legitimately wouldn't. Changed how I live, how I think about things, and my overall opinion on not giving up on a lot. Then I hear that this game and world that I love so much is being given to Studio Trigger, to him, to direct. Then I hear those crazy bastards got Akira Yamaoka of Silent Hill fame to do the freaking OST. Like, the pedigree behind this show is effing stacked. I'm going to keep my expectations tempered. I'm not going to watch any trailers. I'm not going to do anything because this has all the rights to be something that is a masterclass that everyone doing an adaptation needs to look at. And lo and behold, that is exactly what it was. Emi Ishii normally is known for being as bombastic as all can be. I need to remind you people that the ending of Gurren Lagann is them literally having fights with uninhabited galaxies. Cut to the description of the final mech here. All right, and we're back. So, it's ridiculous. And every Studio Trigger is known for going over the top, but this time they had to buckle it down and be more mature. They are not known for being bloodshed, balls to the wall, guns blazing. The anime still did end up going to space at the end. They just can't get away from that. It has to happen every single time.
Yep.
But yeah, I said this to everyone off the chat. Last year, Arcane was the thing where I had to tell everyone you were literally doing yourself a disservice if you were not watching it. That is what it is this year. This, in my opinion, had all failings for everyone to not give a shit about it, to just die off because of what happened with Cyberpunk. And then the Rotten Tomatoes score comes out for this freaking thing. And everyone is like, this is the best adaptation there is. There's this, that, and the other thing, and it's great. And then I finally get to watch it, and I binged it in a day. And I tell you, this might be my favorite, game, whatever you want to call this, to the screen, an episodic form of an adaptation of a video game ever. I've droned on for a while. I have people with me here. I had Mike, Kiona, Tyler. So, Mike literally has not touched the game. Kiona has heard me drone on about it and has played most of the game.
Finished.
You have finished it now? Okay,
yes.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Tyler,
finished it the first time around. Yep.
You did finish the first time around? I don't remember if you did or not. And then
I did.
Tyler has finished it as well. So
yes,
we've got a good wide range of stuff here. I didn't have an exact thing of what we wanted to do. I just wanted us to kind of gush over our favorite stuff that happened. I am going to let the person who has had the least amount of time in it, Mike, start. Go ahead.
Okay. So my background with Cyberpunk, as Brock mentioned, is I was like aware of it. Even though I'm not as big of a gamer as the rest of the panel, I'm still surrounded by gaming news. So it's been a property that I'm aware of. But then I hear the news that they're doing an anime produced by Trigger, and I'm like, yes, gimme. And I have now seen the anime twice, and I love it. It has the feel of like those late 80s, early 90s OVAs that are just violent, violent, hard sci-fi, and just all over the place.
Yeah, it's but with a weirdly extremely colorful coat of paint slapped over it.
Oh yeah.
Kiona, go ahead.
I mean, that's one of the interesting things about Cyberpunk as a world is the fact that the primary color is yellow, and that's not a color that's associated with Cyberpunk, in my opinion. It's mostly like steel blue, kind of gray, black, maybe red.
Basically, my logo without the red.
Basically, essentially your logo, exactly. And yeah, I mean, like for me, this was an anime where I was aware of it peripherally. Like it wasn't something where I was like, okay, I'm definitely gonna watch this, because my experience with the game was kind of a middling one. Because I played it on PS4 Pro when it came out, and I had some issues with it, and the initial release didn't go exactly smoothly,
to put it lightly.
So for me it was a bit of a slog, and I think I missed some of the side quests, which is probably why you didn't think that I finished it, Brock. I think that.
Well, I remember you saying that. I don't ever remember you. We talked about endings, but I didn't know if you had looked them up or not.
I looked up all the endings because but after I got to the ending, so I got to my ending, which was the Corpo ending, where you go off into the space station and just kind of float off the space station, and that was it.
Nice.
Like I think that was my initial ending, and it had that freak out. Yeah, it had like the freak out with like the Rubik's cube, which was really cool. By the way, that freaked me the fuck out. I
got the best ending, which is the street kid run away with the lesbian character.
Dude, that's awesome.
The Nomad's ending.
I also got I got the Nomad's ending too. I got like the Pan Am, the ending with her. I think on the like the second run through the ending that I did. So I did play through the endings, but I also just looked them up just to see what was going on. But I felt a little bit dissatisfied with the game. So cut to the anime, cut to Edge Runners, and it's like, okay, I see the hype building for this thing, and it's Trigger. And we all know that you guys converted me, Mike and Brock, you converted me to Gurren Lagann. So,
hell yeah.
Yeah, so that was that. As soon as I heard that, I was like, okay, this is a pedigree here. And then I just watched Evangelion as well. So watched that all the way through. I haven't finished the Rebuild movies though yet. But
Aces.
Just knowing their history and knowing what they have done, so Trigger was definitely high up on the quality list in terms of anime studios. So coming into Edge Runners, I didn't know what the show was going to be about. I didn't know what the characters were. So, except seeing what I saw on Twitter, which is basically like, this character is cool and we love them. And the anime is really good. It's like beyond good. It's great. It's a great anime. I would say I had a death in the family this, on September 11th of all days. So my aunt passed away in her sleep. So it was a little bit of a downer ending. Yeah. But we'll get to that. But I'm not sure. That's why I would say that I'm not sure that I would watch it again anytime soon. Like maybe in like a few months I'll watch it again. But it's a really good show. Very, the animation itself is just great. Yeah, and I love it. I love the themes. I love the way that they worked in like the character arcs and everything. And Lucy. I love Lucy. I can honestly say I love Lucy.
The literal only thing I saw from this before the show started, because I was just sweeping through my Twitter one last time to see other things, this was literally the stretcher going down the highway with Lucy riding David going out. That was the only thing I saw, and I'm like, yep, that's all I gotta see. This is gonna be great.
Awesome. Yeah,
wait, hang on, I have to ask. Has anyone made a I Love Lucy meme with?
Oh, I'm waiting on it. I want someone to remake the intro. I want someone so bad. Just to have her and Rebecca be on the chocolate line, trying to stuff the crap in the hats. I would lose my shit. I want it as a t-shirt. I know it's going to get made by someone on Redbubble, and I will wear it every day.
Oh, okay. Same.
All right.
Oh, man, that would be awesome.
All right, Tyler, go ahead.
I'll say firstly with the game, I don't aggressively hate the game. There's a lot to like about it, but I do think that it kind of struggles a bit when it comes to just getting its ideas from paper to game. And no amount of patching. There's a great quote from like a reviewer. It said, "There's a lot you can do to patch, but you can't really patch a soul." And that was kind of a fundamental problem with Cyberpunk. But this soul, this anime has a soul and about a half. Has two souls, frankly. It's beyond two souls.
Oh, God. Oh, no.
It has so much personality and so much things to enjoy, so much just you can just feel the love of the craft from the animators. The worst thing I can say about it is that unfortunately, if you watch the anime before you play the game, you're probably gonna set yourself up for disappointment.
Mm-hmm.
David Cage has entered the chat and would like to say that
How the hell did you properly portray emotion? Teach me.
did you use all the polygons?
I use all the pencil sketches.
This is what people think is sadness? I've been doing it wrong my whole life. Did you put more emotion in the last 2 minutes of this anime than I have in every work I've ever done?
Yes.
Yes.
Great example of show versus game. There's not a ton of crossover characters in both, but there's a couple. And to me, the most notable one is Adam Smasher.
Oh, there's 3. Sorry, 3. I forgot. They somehow forgot about Adam Smasher.
Okay. Yeah, but that guy, he's so good in the anime. And then if you play the game, you're like, oh boy, I can't wait to see how awesome this villain is. And then he glitches into the wall.
Stuck in the wall. And then you just shoot him to death.
So who are
Exactly,
the other
it's
two
like,
characters
Okay,
outside of
so
Adam Smasher?
they're extremely tiny. Rogue and Claire.
Oh,
Yes, they were in there. I remember.
Claire's at the bar cleaning glasses, and Rogue, you see her for a couple of seconds.
It's not like overly telegraphed, so if you didn't play the game, you're not like, who's these characters?
Yeah.
It's organic.
Yeah. Coming from me, I'm the person that played it on PS5 first, so I had a really good experience for the most part. Did I have glitches? Yes. And then I played the PS5 like updated, they fixed it version.
Yeah.
And everything works how it's supposed to all the way through, give or take. I had very that Atom Smasher fight is off the fucking charts after that.
Better
patch.
now, I bet. Yeah.
Dude, he's never not sending 18 billion types of shit at you. You are running.
It's not a very fun
constant.
fight.
It's hard as hell. Like it's
Unless he glitches into
like,
the wall. You hope for that actually.
You hope now that he does, yes.
Yeah,
I like it went from 0 to a fucking 100 when I went through on that second playthrough the Platinum on the PS5. I'm like, whoa, hold on, what the hell is going on? Because he's actually sending viruses back this way, and I'm like, this is supposed to happen. What the
He's
hell?
bugged the other way.
But anyway,
now he's too good.
he's too good. But yeah, so I was one of the people that was just like, I got why some people didn't like it. I got some people didn't have the experience that I had with it.
Yeah.
I'm also one of those people that I'm very hard to give up on something. I will always give it as much chance as I can. That's just and that's not everyone, and not everyone has to be that way.
I mean, glitches in games, it's going to happen.
Excuse
No
me.
matter
Yes.
what. Like I'm playing Mass Effect 3 on the Legendary Edition right now. I'm still going through my playthrough, and it's like there's some glitches, visual glitches, a lot.
Let me guess, the third one. The Mass Effect 3 is the buggiest of the bunch to the point where, unfortunately,
Yeah.
the game display didn't actually constrain to my TV correctly. So most of the game, I'm like, I think the dialogue is correct, but it's cutting off half the screen.
Yeah.
I'm
One
just
thing.
seeing a lot of glitches.
Yeah. One thing before we get back that I will say. Originally on the PS3, if you wanted to play Mass Effect 3, you had to uninstall every patch because they were trying to get you to go to the EA like whatever, and it wouldn't load it.
Yeah.
So I had to uninstall all the patches
Yeah.
and play Mass Effect 3 base version.
Oh,
So whenever you're
Oh.
talking to hack it over the intercom thing, Shepard is literally looking at the camera over here, and Hackett's over here. It's the worst crap ever. He
Amazing.
never makes eye contact with anyone in a cutscene. It's the worst shit ever.
but
But
he's under a lot of nerves. He just can't look him in the eye.
you just can't.
But I mean, yeah, you're gonna have glitches in games no matter what. But like now, if you go back and play, it's actually very, very good.
It's very good. And there's just like minor stuff that, and I actually found out what the actual issue was because they had to come clean about some stuff. With how much they were crunched, they outsourced a bunch of the actual like, what I want to say,
development.
no, bug fixing.
Oh,
yeah.
A lot of it had to get outsourced because of how much bigger of a project it was than what they normally
Yeah.
were doing, I guess.
Didn't they talk about that? Didn't they mention that like it was outsourced bugs?
They mentioned some of the
Yeah, I believe
outsourced
they
bugs,
did.
but their first quote unquote
Or bug
excuse they
fixing.
tried using was a lot more layering of code with how
Mhm.
vertical the city was compared to how
Mhm.
widespread their normal games are. But
Mhm,
yeah,
mhm.
they got more into
Yeah.
detail about that, and now that it was all brought back in house and they did it themselves magically, it's really good. It's almost like CD Projekt Red when they do it themselves is good.
Dude, something I didn't know about was that mission, that little side quest that you have where you face off against the Major
Yes.
in like the opening part of the game. So I finally played through that mission and I was like,
Yes.
that's a good mission. That was
Yes.
cool. That was fun.
Yes, it is.
And of course Susie, Sphere Hunter, she did that video where she went up to like the building from Blade Runner,
Mhm.
went up the tower. I'm sorry,
Yeah.
You actually get to see
Yeah.
what's his name?
Roy Batty.
Roy Batty like just rusted in the rain.
Yeah,
on a
he's
rooftop.
just in the rain. Yeah,
It's
Still
it's
teardrops
awesome.
in the rain.
that was cool.
But
That was cool.
anyway, I did not expect to get an unbelievable 8-person crew of weirdos that I was gonna fall in love with as much as I did the original Mass Effect.
And
crew.
no sign of Keanu Reeves either. They did without him.
Yeah,
it's not like
No
they don't have
Johnny
star power in here.
Silverhand.
They have like one of the best like villain actors playing
dude, when
Faraday.
when I found
yeah.
out that Esposito was going to be him, I'm like, that's perfect. Oh my
They're
god.
an A-list cast of voice actors.
Yes. And like we get into this and like they're like, this is a year before anything that happens in Cyberpunk. So it's like all that's gone. You might see other people, but like V's not going to be there. All that other stuff, like they have not gotten through to starting their part. So I'm like, that makes sense. That's another part when we got towards the end and they're like, you're going to fight Atom Smasher. I'm like, great. This is going to end in tragedy. So because
And
Mike,
it does.
the last person you kill in most of the campaigns is Atom Smasher in the game.
Yeah.
So obviously David wasn't going to win.
No.
Of course.
So I was like, great. And I know he has a Sandevis stand. So when he goes to fight him, he's going to be like, oh, you have one too. But anyway.
It's like having a prequel to Dragon Ball where it's like, I must fight the final villain, Vegeta. It's like,
Pretty
oh,
much.
well, crap. I know how this is going to go.
Yeah. But when we start out, it was very basic. Like, I didn't know how much of the Arasaka stuff was going to be in there. Because I'm like, you only have 10 episodes. And it sounds like there's a lot that happens. And the voice acting for that fight with David and Arasaka's kid, or that head Arasaka kid's student.
Oh,
Just-
Katsuo.
Full on like Liu Kang in Mortal Kombat. Like he asked them
Amazing.
if he could do that, and they said go for it. And then Chris, a friend of mine, was like, "What's weirder is it's 10 times more off the wall in the Japanese version compared to even that." I'm like,
Oh
well, that's
god.
saying
Oh,
something.
I didn't watch the dub. I'm now curious.
Oh wow,
But anyway, so
that was pretty great though.
it was. I was not expecting that whatsoever. I'm like, this is the dumbest thing I've ever seen. I love it. But yeah, I gotta ask about now once they meet. Did you guys like the setup for how we got to meet the crew? Well, no, before we get there, were you expecting his mom to get off that fast?
Yes.
Okay.
A little bit.
Yeah, I was like, okay, she's obviously dead.
I wasn't
Yeah.
expecting her to be. One thing I did like about it is that she was also a person that was kind of down and dirty, but she was doing it for a good reason.
Yeah,
She
I
was
mean,
stealing upgrades for her
she
son's
had
tuition.
some. Yeah, like she was doing some stuff.
Yeah. Mike, by the way, the apartment that the Martinezes live in is the apartment that you get starting out as V when you play the game.
Yes, that's totally V's apartment. I was like,
Yes.
that's V's apartment.
Yes. And then someone watching it was like, you know what? That makes a ton of sense. Those mega buildings would be mass produced because he lives in the mega building that has a talking vending machine in it.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, and that
Oh my God, you're right.
yeah,
It's
I
on-
watched the
that's
video
on
where
game.
I watched the video where someone went through all the Night City locations just for me to be sure if they used just as much as I thought they did. But yeah, in Mike for reference, they made like an AI vending machine to like kind of tell what you wanted, but it became like completely self-aware. So it was like having conversations with people that came by and like
Isn't
like
it-
psychiatristing them.
Oh yeah, I remember. It's a
Isn't it the
psychiatrist
dude-
soda machine. Yeah, it's like one of the better side quests.
Wait, am I thinking of the same one where it's the dude from Detroit? It's the same voice actor who played like the cop in Detroit Become Human.
I don't remember. I
That's
don't know who the
Brown?
guy's voice actor is.
Because I know that there's a talking vending machine that is that
Oh,
particular voice actor, and he's
It
almost
could
playing
be.
the exact same character.
It could be. I'm not entirely sure. I don't know what that guy's voice like. If it is, that's awesome. It very well could be. But
By the way, just
thought
typing
it
into
was
Google
that. Maybe I'm wrong.
talking vending machine brings it up immediately. The coin operator boy is what it's called.
coin operator boy. But anyway, so did you like the introduction of with Lucy
Yes.
with getting David into the crew?
Yes, I joked the second time I saw the show in the second episode when he meets Lucy. Love at first heist.
Yes, pretty much.
Lucy to me was like the coolest anime character that I've seen since Faye.
Holy shit!
Wow.
That's a high bar.
Yeah.
Wow.
You aren't
Yeah.
getting
And
what
you
love at
know-
first sight.
Costume wise,
About the same.
it's not far off. Just with silver and black.
Voice wise, even like she just reminded me so much of Faye.
And she's got a similar haircut too.
Yeah.
There you go. And like I gotta be honest. I've said this when we were off. I think she might be my favorite Studio Trigger waifu. Like Lucy is up there. She was the Revy to the Rock that was David,
Yeah.
and it worked really well.
Yeah.
And they did
It
a
did.
totally different version of it.
Too bad she didn't play harmonica too.
That would have been great. And not every 7 seconds. God damn it, Rock!
I wanted to actually tweet that out. I wanted to tweet out that take, and then I was like, no, I'm going to save it for this podcast.
One of my friends on Twitter said like Lucy felt like she was like scientifically engineered to be all of my favorite waifus.
If anyone here, like, I'm gonna go right down the rabbit hole here of we're like Trigger just went, all right, we're gonna mash together a bunch of our characters and make the perfect human being. So we
We've algorithmed everyone.
yes, we pretty much were like, okay, so Darlene and the Franks, we're gonna put together 02 and Ichigo, the character people hated, but take her hairstyle, a little bit of her looks, put some of the sass of 02 in there, and then just make her look like it was Ragyo Kiryuing's daughter with the white hair from Kill la Kill. They pretty much just mashed three of their female characters together, put her in Cyberpunk, and then made her just my dream woman.
And it worked.
It did, because she's got all just the perfect personality. All this other stuff is just like, and the only disappointment, my legit only disappointment, we'll get to the crew and stuff later, but they visit Lizzie's bar for 2 seconds. Well, I didn't get to see Judy.
Yeah.
Was like, you fuckers, you teased me. But that whole thing when it go up and immediately it was there, I'm like, oh no, well, that's just freaking great. But it was cool that they were like, your mom was a good person. She stole to try and get you a good thing, so yeah, I guess we'll be okay as long as you work off the military grade augmentation you put into your spine. As long as you steal for me, I guess we can make it okay. All right. Well, guess we'll go in a circle here with like not counting David and Lucy. We'll start with Kiona. Who was your favorite of the crew? There's 8 of them in total if you count Falco.
Becca or Maine? Becca or Maine?
I didn't know I was going to like Becca as much as I did. I thought she was going to be a stereotypical.
Me too.
character.
I thought she was going to be
Awesome.
really irritating, but she ended up being so cool. Like she's psycho, and I love her.
Yes.
Maine was just. Maine was
you know what he
badass.
was?
And you know what?
He was
I have a
Barrett
soft
was in
spot.
an anime.
I have a soft spot for Kiwi. I do, even though, God, I hated where they took her, but I have a soft spot for Kiwi
Yeah.
because, you know, yeah, like she screwed up and everything, but she was a pretty badass runner.
She was. And
Yeah.
in the end, she stuck to her own rules.
In the end,
Do
she
not
did.
trust
In the
anyone
end,
but yourself.
yeah, but it was just,
Yeah.
I hate that she did what she did. So I guess I'll go. Oh my god, that's a tough decision.
The whole crew's good. That's the
The whole
weird part.
crew
There's
is
not a
good.
stinker.
And it's
Even
like,
Pillar, who's barely in there, is awesome.
I think maybe Maine for me. Just
Maine is
because,
up
you know,
there.
he's got that Kamina thing.
Yeah, he's also, like, in my opinion, if Barrett was in an anime.
True. Yeah, he's so Barrett,
Accurate.
man. He's so Barrett.
All right,
Yeah,
Tyler, go
yeah,
ahead.
that's true.
I'm gonna cheat and say Lucy. I know. Look,
I mean, Lucy, obviously.
Well,
but,
yeah.
all she was missing was a fancy hat. That's it.
Oh, yeah.
She has to have a hat. She does.
She's like a 9.9 on the scales. You know what? I can't complain really that much.
But I'm glad to see like Becca getting so much love on Twitter and everything.
Oh,
so-
absolutely.
That's a good
And
character too.
supposedly, Trigger had to fight for her.
Really?
What? Why?
Supposedly, and I don't know how true this is. Again, this is all word of like whatever. There's been disparaging thoughts on how far it was. Was like, I guess CD Projekt Red, and where are they from?
Poland.
Poland.
Oh,
Apparently, they weren't too high on the idea of a quote unquote. From what her design, she looked like a lolly at first. Being
I
in the
see.
show, they weren't
Yeah.
too high on that, but
Yeah.
Trigger literally went, either that or we're not doing it. We're making this character.
I mean, they're like, oh no, she's not just that, you know.
No. And then
Like, I mean,
immediately,
she
once
has
you
depth.
see Becca, she's great.
The appearance
Yeah.
can be a little deceiving if you look at your screenshots.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. And it's like, there's parts that's like, they do a really good job with Becca. Because at first, they kind of make you feel like she's going to be a stereotypical Harley Quinn-esque psycho.
Mhm.
But as she goes on, you actually get to see the parts of her, and that wall breaks after Pillar dies.
She cares for David. Like she
Yeah.
actually really cares for him. I think in fact that she kind of actually loved him. Like I
Oh, yeah.
think that there was that there. I mean,
Like
oh,
you had,
there was definitely
yeah.
unre-
like
unrequited feelings.
Dorio was
Unrequited.
literally giving her like dating advice.
Oh,
She's
so-
like,
Oh, I forgot about Dorio.
I think that was Dorio. No, because that was after Kiwi. I think
Yeah.
because that was after Dorio died.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I forgot about
but-
Dorio.
Yeah,
I love
'cause you
Dorio
have
too.
David, Lucy, Kiwi, Dorio, Maine, Rebecca, Pillar, and Falco. They just had to get Matt Mercer in there to be
Of
just
course.
the most Western driver ever.
Falco was cool.
Falco was great. But all
Everybody
right,
was cool.
Mike.
Okay. In no particular order, not counting David and Lucy, I would go Becca,
Okay.
Yep.
Maine, Falco, and if he counts, Doc.
Oh yeah, Doc.
Oh,
That's true.
Doc.
That last bit of you is gonna fly right over the edge, and you along. Oh, it's so good.
Doc.
I love that guy. He just never. He always shoots it straight with him. He's like, dude, this is not gonna end well. This is not good. Stop.
He's literally telling the audience.
It's like, by the way, this is gonna go bad. That was one of the main things. There was like in the game,
Mhm.
one of the side quests, Mike, like a separate set of missions from now her name's escaping me. Eye Patch. She's a person that's hunting down cyber psychos and wants to rehabilitate them. She gives
Was
you a
it
bunch.
Regina?
Regina Jones, yes.
Yeah.
Regina Jones is a person who is trying to understand what makes cyber psychosis happen. And you hunt down a bunch of them, but you get more like points and like a rewards if you incapacitate them and don't kill them, because she wants to cure cyber psychosis. So it was a main like side quest thing, but it was a giant overarching part of the main game. I love that they made succumbing to cyber psychosis a giant part of this anime.
Yeah,
I
because
thought-
you
I
don't
found
really
that-
get that.
I
No.
found that aspect fascinating.
And I like that's exactly shocker.
That wasn't
And-
touched on
and-
in the game as much as the show.
No, shocker. The anime studio went, so you have a thing that can make a person go psycho and we can animate them going nuts? We're gonna go with that one.
It's every anime studio. If it's not there, we'll just add it.
We'll just add it. Dude, the like shifting with the facials and the eyes when they start going cyber psycho, I'm like, what the hell?
It's pretty scary. But I love the way they visualized it.
Yeah. Man, Rebecca and Maine for me were up there. Pillar for the little bit that you had him. I really liked him.
Also, he gets the best death in the whole entire show.
Just gets freaking wasted.
Fun fact: Pillar is voiced by Ian James Corlett, who was the Ocean Dub voice for Goku.
Oh,
I thought it was Sean Schemmel at first because their voices sound eerily similar.
yeah,
I didn't know anyone else voiced Goku.
the Ocean Dub,
That's
Yeah.
weird.
the OG.
Huh. Wow. And I'm gonna be honest. My favorite
Yeah, what-
death outside of David's
Yeah.
is probably Rebecca's.
Oh, Becca's.
Oh.
Yeah.
We were having a moment. Boom! Right through the floor.
Oh.
And right when she's like, "For David's sake, I'm happy you're
Sad.
alive." We need
Sad panda.
to you finally have her and Lucy making up, and then they
Old man Mayweather doing that too.
Akame get killed the whole thing where it's just like no one's making it. And it's like there is literally one somewhat happy ending in all of the original of like the 5 endings that you can get.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's even a suicide ending where you just like, I don't want to hurt anyone else. I'm not going after Asaka or Arasaka. We're just done. And
Is one of the happy endings going to space?
no, that's
No.
kind
That's
of
kind
one
of
of
a
the worst.
crap ending.
That's kind of one of the
honestly.
worst ones.
That's
Like
a
you
sad
get to
ending.
get back, but they basically okay. So to clear the air in the thing, what happens to you is you get a construct lodged into your brain, and then it's of Johnny Silverhand, the Keanu Reeves.
Keanu Reeves.
And then, but you get shot and murdered by the fixer you got put on a job by. So then when you wake up, your body thinks that Johnny is you and you're the parasite in your own brain. So throughout the game, the construct in you is starting to take over, and the game point is to try and fix it.
Oh,
So you go to a bunch of different people to try and fix it. Like there's one, the best ending in my opinion is if you're romancing Judy, because Judy then comes along, you can romance Judy and then go with these people called the Nomads, and they leave Night City to try and find you a cure. So like most of your supporting cast that everyone liked goes off with the Nomads and goes off that way. There's one where you can just blow your brains out on the roof, where if you wait long enough, you'll just look down and there's a pistol, you can end it. There's one called the Fear the Reaper ending, where if you wait long enough, Johnny goes, well, he gives you the option to call 2 people. 3 actually, and then he's just like, you don't want to hurt anyone else. Like, I get it. All right, just you and me all the way through Sokka Tower. And then you do it, you don't kill anyone, you go through, no one else gets killed, and then you get the same ending as another one minus one character not dying. And then there's one where you can call the Nomads, and then they help you out. There's a different way of getting there. One, the leader of the Nomads dies, and then there's another one where it's basically the same as the Fear the Reaper ending, except this character Rogue dies. And then you, at the end, you end up in this giant apartment, which is where Lucy and David live in the anime.
There's also the ending where you let him take over.
Oh my god, I didn't realize that.
Dude, I showed you that list. There's probably 4 locations that they didn't take directly from the game.
I
Wow.
did not even realize
Like-
that was the big apartment. Holy shit.
Yeah, like the scene where Lucy and
I mean,
David
it makes
watch the
sense now.
rocket go off. That's
Yeah.
just on top of her mega building that you can find. And like they have the outside of Lucy's apartment is the same hallway that you go into Judy's apartment, but it's just in a different building. The same, the graffiti and everything's the same. Okay.
That's crazy.
Yeah. It's
The
The-
best
the
ending's
whole-
Nomad, almost objectively.
well, it's the one where you like actually feel happy.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, you
Oh.
actually feel
But,
kind
but
of
also
like,
there's the Johnny
hope
Silverhand
there.
takes over.
I
the
was
body
about to
ending.
say that's the other one. You can also let Johnny take your body over at the end, and then he like teaches a kid how to play guitar and do whatever, and then he runs off, says goodbye to you at your grave, and then
which is basically the Hallmark gift ending.
Yeah, but I wait to see what that DLC does. But
Isn't
anyway,
there that ending where you buy the kid the guitar?
That is the
that is
That is the ending, right?
Yeah,
yeah.
you
Where,
get
like,
in
a
the
kid that's
guitar
having a bad time, and he goes to like a music store, and they throw him out, and Johnny's like, "Yeah, take this guitar, kid," and flips him the coin. It's like, wow, this is like Hallmark AI created ending.
Yeah, but anyway, I always say we could basically go. What are your we went over them, but like your biggest positive takeaway that you got out of this anime that you like? I wouldn't say weren't expecting, but you were just happy you got. I guess Tyler.
I hadn't thought about Cyberpunk in a while until this, and now it makes me go, I should replay Cyberpunk. I know it's not going to be as good as this, but it was so good it makes me want to power through anyway. If you're CD Projekt Red, you're probably going, oh wow, look at all those sales increasing.
Mm-hmm. Makes them want to do it on the Unreal 5 engine the next time.
Probably.
Because if they did a proper, like they took care of it themselves sequel to this,
we're gonna get a Last of Us Part 1 remake, Cyberpunk 2077 rehacked.
If they take this out of Red Engine and put it into Unreal Engine 5, that may be the best looking video game of all time.
It might also solve a lot of the bug problems.
Because they were trying the longest time. They kept redoing the Red Engine because they wanted their own engine, and they finally gave up for the next Witcher, and they said, we're just doing Unreal from now on.
Good. Easier work.
I mean, it's kind of insane that it even looks as good as it does. Like, I mean, I'm on a 2070, and I knocked the resolution down to 2K and just like the 1440, and just like put ray tracing on, not like insane levels, but just on high levels, and just knocked a couple of things down, like volumetrics down a little bit, and it's like, it looks great. Like, it looks better than PS5.
It's crazy what that thing can pull off and put the juice on it.
If I had like a 3090, man, that thing would look just friggin' awesome. Yeah.
All right, Kiona, you can go next.
Who? Let's see. Lucy. Okay. Lucy and let's say character builds, because I'm so curious now. I want to just follow along. I want to go through the game again and just follow along with like character builds and see how it plays. And
like I said, that David build is busted from what I saw someone do with it.
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
Good Lord, Mike.
So between this and Arcade, I am now officially of the opinion that TV is the way to adapt video games. And not only that, but you don't have to do like a straight adaptation. You can do, this was a prequel, even Arcane was a prequel. Just tell a story, and if it's good, people will come.
Let your
it's almost like
make art.
It's almost like it's a bizarre problem why every Resident Evil adaptation doesn't do this.
I had a great Pat and Wooly were talking about Stone Ocean, JoJo the other day, and Pat had and then Wooly mentioned, he's like, but yeah, I'm not worried because at this point they have the art of adaptation down to a science. And then Pat laughs, yes. And you listener, what is their art of adaptation? Well, they see what's on the page and they put it on screen.
or you do what Capcom does and gives out the people that just kind of go, I think I got it.
Yeah.
Actually, not even. This is like the equivalency of that line from The Simpsons where Lionel Hurt is like, "Don't worry, I understand law. I was in a bar watching Matlock. The sound wasn't on, but I think I got the gist of it."
But yeah, this
still like that Street Fighter 2 animated movie, by the way, from like the 90s. I still like it.
Of course.
You don't want the Street Fighter demons.
Street Fighter
that
2,
they
the
fought
movie,
behind
the
that gate.
The Street Fighter 2 animated movie, the anime.
Oh, I know. I was talking about the animated show as well, where they fight the random mutants behind that gate.
Oh no!
Cammy punches the computer. It's all lies.
Not that one.
But
it's a shame they didn't make a game for Street Fighter 2, the animated movie. It's like they did the first game. Like, oh yeah, Street Fighter the movie, the game.
Yes. Well, you got to do quality before quantity. So,
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, I'm one of the people that if I'm going to play a game, I'm going to give a shit a lot more about it if the world is good.
Yeah.
And Cyberpunk to me was one of the ones that nailed that to a wall, in my opinion. It was one of the things that also where it's like, not with Destiny where you had to read grimoire cards in order to get it. You just listen to the actual briefings and stuff like that, the missions they give you, and you get a shitload of detail from it. And I was just like, okay, if this never gets a sequel again, I'm going to be pissed, because this world is great. It is built up awesome, and it can be fixed and rejiggered if they use Unreal 5, and you can make something really freaking special in the sequel because they have a good foundation here. And then when I'm like, they're making an anime, I'm like, and it's by Trigger, you can just do things that are not capable in a gaming capacity because you just can't make a character do certain things because it's just not how games work. Even Platinum can't make characters do some of the stylish ass shit that can be done in an anime.
You couldn't make Adam Smasher fight the way he does in the show. You just couldn't do it.
Exactly. And then I was just like, all they did was give the kid one upgrade for 5 episodes. And it was some of the coolest shit ever. All he had was a Sandevistan, and he did some of the sweetest shit in the show. And then, like, Main had the arm launcher. It was so much done with so little. And it was interesting to see a studio that typically doesn't do hyperviolence do hyperviolence. Like, Kyoto Animation does a slasher film. I don't get how that would look.
It would be too pretty.
It'd be too pretty, dude. You could see the white blood cells in that blood. That's how good it would look. But I will say the honest thing, I was not expecting to love everyone in that crew as much as I did.
Me neither. Like I thought at first, I thought the crew would just be like, just fine. But the second that Main name drops Gloria, it's like, oh, okay, so these guys are menches.
Yeah, like Main is like an actual good dude. Like he's like, shit, I can't hurt Gloria's kid.
Yeah, that was so surprising for me. Like I was expecting him to just go ape on him, and I didn't expect him to just kind of be like, okay, I'm not gonna hurt you because you're the kid of this woman that I did business with or whatever, or had somewhat of a friendship with.
Yeah, and it's in the second to last episode. I want to say I put it up on Facebook today when I was rewatching it. It's one of my favorite quotes that David says, and it speaks a lot about Main and like how he operates. It was that with Main gave everyone a fair shake, and I operate the same exact way. And that was even after Kiwi fucked them over.
Yeah.
That was like, and
why,
then,
Kiwi? Why?
I knew it had to be someone, and of all of them, the person that was cutting through ice the entire time, if it was going to be anyone in that crew, it was going to be Kiwi.
Yeah.
There was no other option.
Because it wasn't going to be Rebecca. At the end, Rebecca cared way too damn much for David. She was in love with him.
Yeah.
At the end of that. Like, you could see her falling head over heels for him. She was genuinely terrified when all the cyber psychosis stuff was happening to him.
Yeah, yeah.
And, like, the thing that I was not expecting, and it's where me and Kiona will probably disagree, they did a thing with Lucy that I loved. And they don't show you exactly what she did at first. When they're trying to get all the info from that Arasaka guy that they capture, she mind melts this dude and makes it look like someone else did it, just because she was trying to protect David.
When was this? Was this
when she was I don't remember what happened, but they could not get. I don't remember exactly what happened, but they could not get Kiwi to do it.
Oh, this was in episode 6. Which
episode 6,
probably
the best episode of the whole show.
Yeah,
holy,
very good episode. Yeah,
but Kiwi was disposed of for some other reason. I can't remember exactly why. It might have been an EMP, the EMP that he shot off. But she was going in and she saw the files on them that David had the adaptability to cyberware, and that's why Arasaka wanted them. And like the whole entire thing became, and it's much like I mentioned Black Lagoon, where it was 2 different people fighting for the other one's livelihood. David didn't give 2 shits about himself. He cared about everybody else. Always did. Mm-hmm. So he wanted to help Lucy get a goal because he was like, I have her and that's it. I have no friends. I care about her with all I got. And then Lucy finally had a genuine, was not in the game person, get to know her on a personal level. And she was like, I'm not letting them corrupt this kid.
Mhm.
And they had that connection with that to where you see her literally doing stealth ice jobs on people to get rid of them to try and get her out, get him out. And she ends up getting fucked over. And that's just like, I knew when this started that it was not going to end well because A, it's a prequel.
Yeah.
Adam Smasher.
And B, well, with Adam Smasher. And also B, it's Cyberpunk. You just don't, you get a happy ending within a sad ending.
You don't go to Night City and live.
No. And I'm gonna be honest, they gave David the Jorgen and Balenboe ending, and I'm kind of okay with that. Literally laughing as you get blown away. That's pretty good. And
That was good.
Those chase scenes.
As soon as they mentioned Adam Smasher, I was like, okay, we're on the road to a dark ending here.
Yep. Because I'm looking at it, I'm like, if I remember correctly in the game, they said that he had been fully borged out for a while. This is only a year before it, so there's no way he's the one that wrecks Adam Smasher to get him to be fully borged out. And then all of a sudden he's just like, well, how long is it going to take Adam Smasher to get here? Oh, he's in the lobby. He's right there. Cool. He's just reading a magazine. David's fucked. Sorry.
Yeah, he's done.
But that whole lead up to that fight and that freaking, what is that song by I Just Want to Stay at Your House. What was it called? By Rosa Walton. Kiona mentioned earlier that they had Franz Ferdinand.
Yeah, Franz Ferdinand. Their song "This Fire" was the opening, and I'll be honest, it does sound like an anime opening, almost like the band thought, like
it does.
Let's turn this into an anime opening 15 years later.
It was so weird. The first episode, I was like, Trigger, what the hell are you thinking? Second episode, I don't want anything else opening this.
But here's the thing. Here's the synergy of it is the fact that what is the first, the end of the first trailer, the first real trailer that they showed for this game, apart from the Bullets one with Archives Bullets playing and the cyber psycho girl. But like Keanu Reeves comes up to you and he says, wake the samurai. We have a city to burn.
That is true.
That's it.
That does work. That is very true. It's so, and just
it works.
That might be one of my favorite openings of all time. It's so simplistic, but it's so damn good.
It is.
But
it's the design elements that they use in the opening sequence too, the title sequence, just awesome.
But yeah, just you shouldn't be allowed to make font that good looking.
But somehow they made it work.
It's just like, you didn't need to put that much effort in, but they never half-ass anything. They're either at 11 or they don't do it.
And I love that. I love that about anime. Like, I miss that about anime. Like, I feel like it's been coasting for too long. Like, we need to bring that back, man. That spirit, that energy.
You got it with some.
The problem is they're releasing too much. And Kiona, you can kind of attest to this. Seeing like you see what Cameron and I have to go through like every single season.
I've seen it. I don't know how you guys do it, frankly. I was like, I remember that one time that I wrote like really detailed notes for one of the anime breakdowns, and it was like I watched only the first episode, and that I was like, I'm tapping out,
Yeah,
especially with the idol animes. I can't do it. I can't do idol anime. Okay, it's just not me. And I was like, what the?
Yeah, exactly. And it's like, I haven't watched anime consistently since like Toonami was a thing, and then now I just went back to look at it. Single spaced size 18 font. I have 8 Google Doc pages full of recommendations that I still need to go through.
Jesus.
Wow.
People are like, why don't you watch any current animes? Because they're not done. I can't.
I'm not
I
gonna sit
cannot
there
be that
watching
person.
Crunchyroll simulcasts like the whole day long, dude.
It's like my friend or my roommate is like, yeah, this season has like 6 animes. You want it? Like, no, I can't. I need to have a show end, and I will binge it. I finished 10 animes this last year, and they're all now done. I can say I watched it. And then you get people like things like Attack on Titan, where it's the final season, part 3. That's not how that works. Stop it. But, all right, back to this. What, and I'll start with Mike, was your saddest death?
Saddest death. Not counting me, not counting David, because that was, well, no, David's death was more bittersweet. I think the saddest one was Maine, because even though you knew, because they've made a big deal about cyberpsychosis being your downfall. Even though they were like foreshadowing that from the start, it still hurt losing losing the boss of the crew.
Mm-hmm. It sucked, and it's like, even in his cyberpsychosis filled rage at the end, he's like, David, get the hell out of here. He's like, and David just, no, I'm not. And that, how they animated David's face when he's in the passenger seat, just zoned out. It might be the best animated just shot of the whole show. It just, oh. But anyway, Tyler.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm gonna have to go the cliche answer. It's obviously David, because even though you know how exactly this fight's gonna go, you kind of sort of root for him anyway. Even though reality cannot actually result in anything you want.
Yeah, it's yeah. Just, well, Kiona.
I would have said Maine, but since we already said his, I'm gonna go with Kiwi.
Kiwi.
Oh,
and also David's mom.
Oh yeah,
poor
David's
Gloria.
mom is up there. Man, the state of, sorry, bud. Did she have this? No. Well, that's unfortunate. I mean, I can try some things, but you're just not covered.
Yeah.
You know how real that was?
That was real.
Too real.
That's a problem they're showing in Cyberpunk that exists in 2022.
Yep.
I kind of love how the major theme of this show is fuck corporations.
That's the theme of Cyberpunk.
It does it harder than the game does, actually.
Yeah, and it's like when you can.
Yeah.
It's when it's all tight. This is some of the most dense anime episodes I've ever seen in my life. There's so much pounded into it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But man, I honestly like David's, since I knew it was coming, and he actually got Lucy out. I didn't feel as sad. I mean, like, it sucked. I cried more at what he told Falco to tell Lucy.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, that's why that moment still works. Because like you said, you know the death is coming, because that's the only possible outcome.
Mm-hmm.
But to add on that message for Lucy is exactly the punctuation that you needed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's just, I get the hell out of here. I'm sorry. The one that was the saddest, because she had already lost Pillar and it happened so fast, was Rebecca's.
Becca.
It just, right when she's finally trying to be like, I need you to fix David. If he chooses you, I don't care whatever it is. I'm just happy you're here because he's happy. And then she's done. They gradually took her to what people thought she was into a really heartfelt, great written character so gradually, and then she just gets iced in 2 seconds. She's like, I'm finally trying to not have an irritating moment with her, and then that happens. And I thought for a moment they were going to kill Falco too. I'm happy he made it. But yeah, oof.
I think they're all sad deaths. Like even what was Maine's girlfriend? What was her name
Dor-
again?
Dorio?
Dorio. Even her death was like sad because she died basically trying to protect the men that she loved,
Exactly, even though she knew he was basically gone.
even though she knew that he was gone. Yeah, and Kiwi is just misguided,
Wait.
and so like
I have another one.
Yeah.
She's not even like a significant character, but
I think I know.
the mother that David kills.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. When he snaps
Yeah.
and he starts losing it because he's like, I literally just did what happened to my mom. That's right. Oh, dude.
Actually, that was one of the better things in the show too that I really liked was their treatment of BDs and how like when like they showed just that perspective of like David as that character, and it makes it a little bit more impactful than the game did, because in the game you already knew, like when you're dealing with the BD,
Mm-hmm.
but like in the show it's just all from that perspective of David or whatever character that you care about that's in the BD, and you think it's real.
Yeah, they're not having you scroll it; they're having you live it.
Yeah,
which is
they're
very
having you
different.
live it through the eyes of the character. Yeah.
Yeah, that was.
There were a couple of times where I was like, "Holy shit, what the hell?"
Yeah, exactly.
Like even in my second watch through, I forgot that certain moments were like dream sequences until like, oh, that's right.
I was legit terrified because again, I didn't know where the show was going. That the rest of the show was gonna be like, no, David's now a cyber psycho. I was like, oh, that was a twist I wasn't expecting. Oh, okay. Oh, we didn't do that. Okay, hold on. Because because I'm like, I wanted so bad. And one thing that Trigger also likes to do is to not let the couple get an immediate happy ending. Imi Ishii is a big fan of that. Because, like, Simone and Nia. And then by proximity through Trigger, Zero, Two, and Hero, they have to get... basically, it's kind of like reincarnation, and then they have to basically find each other again and figure it out. But they have a happy ending in the manga, so that's there. And then you get this, and it's just... this time it's on the other end, but with Lucy. And, man, getting to see her go to the moon, and, like, she was so happy to be there, but she just wanted David.
I felt for her.
She's at the place that she wanted to be most happy, and the only fucking thing she's thinking about is David. That hurts so much.
Yeah.
Oh, I did not expect to go into this anime crying about someone failing on their promise to take someone to the moon, listening to some electronic poppy music.
Something else I liked. There's a line that Lucy says like you're always living for someone else's dream.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're the person to throw yourself into the fire. I can't remember who said it. I don't know if that's Lucy that says that.
That was also
Lucy.
Yeah.
That was Lucy. Yeah. To throw yourself in the fire for someone else, and then he's just those two. Like, I believe I was watching Giga's review of it. This show, you get no backstories for anyone but David and Lucy, who has an amazing backstory. She was basically Jack for Mass Effect. But
God, she is Jack, minus the tattoos.
Yeah, minus the tattoos, but she was an ice code breaker. And she just got out. And outside of those two and a little bit of Maine, they don't tell you backstories on anyone, but I felt like I knew all those characters for years.
Yeah, that like right now between Cyberpunk and Star Wars Andor, like they're doing such great world building where
I was going to mention Visions for a moment.
Visions too, but like, I'm talking about shows that like have such good world building that like you don't need to know their backstory immediately, but you meet them for 2 seconds and you already know their history. Like you feel the life that they've lived.
That's characterization to a key. If I can have a person in 2 scenes and I can basically figure out who they are and what they've been through, that's hard to do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And this might be the best version of it that Trigger's ever done. When you have 10 episodes to get you feel like you're family with this crew, and you barely have half of them left by the time it hits the 5-minute mark, like that. Oh, I take that back. There's a 5th major reoccurring character because Wakako's in here.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
She lends him that dude that gets killed with the tripwire. I forgot all about it. Because he barely makes it a scene. That's right. Oh, that was fantastic. And she just immediately Wakako's like, not a big deal. Guy was an idiot.
Is Wakako
She's a fixer. You do an ass load of missions for her. There's like 4 or 5 districts in Cyberpunk, and they all have their own fixer, and they all have like 20 major missions in each thing. So whenever one comes up, she'll call you on your holo and then give you a briefing, and then you read through it and do it, and she's the one that pays you.
nice?
So she's basically what Faraday was, but for a chunk of Night City. And man, I wish I like how Faraday was just not given the satisfaction. He was just pushed off to the side like no one cared about him and just died. That made me so happy because I hated him. And I'm like, dude, don't get grandstanding. David gravitons him into the floor. He's like, you ain't flatlining yet. I'm getting Lucy out of here and then I'm killing you. I'm doing this slow. Giancarlo Esposito. Of all people, they have normal, like, A-list voice actors. And then they went, no, we need a grade A asshole to be him. We're getting him.
I'll admit, I am starting to feel a little bit of typecasting with Giancarlo, but at the same time, he's just so good at it that I don't care.
It's one of those points where it's like, do you want to see him as a good, kind-hearted person?
I mean, if you want to, you can just watch his early filmography.
I don't know anything about him pre-Breaking Bad.
Oh, he was in Do the Right Thing. He's a likable character in that, but he was like 30 years prior to Breaking Bad, so.
But yeah, I could gush on about this for a long time, but
Reasonably.
it was done so well, and this will always get to me about how much better when you have a tight, concise plan for a season or like something and it just ends. Like I was just talking with Mike during our Marvel review for She-Hulk today, that it's like you had 5 different shows going all at once on the CW, and none of them could have pulled off what this one did in 10. I used to be that person that wanted 50 episodes of everything that I ever watched, and now I like think it's perfect if it has like 24 max, and then that's the end of the complete story.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for me, I put out a tweet last night where I said, like, I love movies and all, but like that can't be like the de facto medium anymore. I think I'm starting to think now that television is slowly starting to take over.
If you can make a movie, if you're like, let's say Last of Us. For me, you could have made The Last of Us work, the first one, in 2 movies. Because the game's about 6 hours long.
Mm-hmm.
If you're rushing it.
Yeah.
But then you get things where they're like, what if we made a 60-hour game into an hour-and-a-half long movie?
Yeah, I'm not.
They're starting to get away from that now because they're starting to realize it never works. Now, when you get stuff like this and like The Last of Us being a TV show, they're starting to realize that, if we like actually pay attention and adapt it to the length it needs, magically it works better.
Then on the flip side of that, you get the Halo show.
Yeah,
actually
that's the
have
other
to-
bad example.
They have to care about the subject matter.
They
though,
actually have to give a
before
shit.
It's funny, yeah. This year we've had this, and we're gonna get Last of Us, and we've also had Halo and Resident Evil, to balance it out.
Ugh.
Resident Evil was as bad as this was good.
Yeah, I'd say that safely.
I would argue
I-
Halo too. I would argue that.
I
I'm not letting that go. I'm sorry.
Oh no, I understand,
fine.
but at least
Master
least
Chief
with
had
Halo-
sex with the Covenant spy.
that's bad.
But
That's
did they
bad,
talk? But did they talk about Zootopia porn though?
Yeah, and did the Master Chief have a dance off, and then they call him the Superman instead of a Spartan?
I'm
that
never
made
gonna-
the show better, honestly.
I'm not gonna ever let go of that Zootopia porn line. Who put that on paper?
put that?
Yeah,
Someone had to approve
Kids
that.
are
That's the
gonna-
best part. Someone at
the
the studio,
kids are
at
gonna like
Capcom,
that.
had to look at that and go, "Yeah, this is fine."
I
God,
had
that
people legitimately upset on my timeline that got canceled. I wanted to give up on life.
I couldn't even. You know what? I couldn't get through the first episode of that show. It was
Halo
bad.
canceled yet?
That's gonna keep going. Somehow, a lot of people. like that.
No.
I mean,
But-
Halo. They should have just made a movie. They should have made the Neil Blomkamp movie.
Should have.
That would have been.
Or they
so
should have
cool.
had a story in the universe like this. This would have been a good idea. Even if you screw it up, it's like whatever. Just
Yeah, but
Or
anyway,
just do a Halo Legends 2, whatever.
or that. Actually, yeah, Halo anime already exists.
before we get too far off,
Yeah. Sorry.
Any last closing thoughts or anything you want to mention before we get out of here?
Give anime studios more money.
Mhm.
Yeah, give them more money, give them more resources, and also let them take their time, because
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure this was announced like back in 2019 or
It
even
was announced before the game was like 6 months from coming out.
yeah, I remember that.
The first release date. I will just say I would like more anime adaptations of what wouldn't normally get an anime in a normal situation. When Cyberpunk was coming out, I wasn't like, that needs an anime. You know what? I want a Mass Effect anime now.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Take more chances on things by making animes of them.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Do a Resident Evil anime, please. It's already
Don't
an
put-
anime anyway.
Don't put that into my head, because then I'll want it and I'll never get it.
But if the series is already an anime in all but name, this
Let-
will not actually be that much of a stretch.
I mean,
After-
they made those CGI things.
They did.
Yeah.
But after this, if you went to me and went, Mappa that's doing Chainsaw Man, if you want to let them do a Resident Evil thing,
oh my god.
That'd be great.
or because the people that did Black Lagoon and what was around of that magical time of Madhouse are now over at Mappa, and I could be okay with that. And in the reverse, if it works well, try doing a better job of anime adaptations. Because, like, if I could get Eric Kripke, after what he's done on The Boys, to let Amazon let him do a Black Lagoon live action,
Ooh.
I think I might implode.
Kripke is like the only person I trust to.
Yeah.
Because when
Well, he's really the only person I trust right now to make television in the streaming era.
because Kripke's been waiting for years to not have a leash,
Mm-hmm.
and he does very good with it. I can tell you right now, I didn't think I need a show where I saw a man shrink down, go inside of another man's penis, and then blow his innards out because he had too much coke. Sorry for anyone who hasn't seen season 3 of The Boys yet.
I was about to say, what happened there is they clearly saw all those old Ant-Man memes from before Endgame came out.
And they just
"Do
said,
that.
"Hold my beer."
They
We
just
can
said,
do that.
You ain't got nothing. I want Thanos to live, but wish he was dead.
There you go.
All right. Mike, where can everybody find you?
You guys can find me on Twitter at CaptainK42. You can check out my quick thoughts on letterboxd.com/CoachK42. And you can follow Renegade Pop Culture on Facebook and Twitter at Ren Pop Culture. You can find us on Podchaser, on YouTube, on the Banana Meter. Listen to all of our podcasts on Anchor, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Pandora for some reason.
I love how you always have to like somehow Pandora.
And last but
Somehow.
not least, everything can be found at renegadepopculture.com. Need an escape? So do we.
Kiona.
You can find me at Kiona Tang on Twitter, just like you see on screen, and also on renegadepopculture.com.
Absolutely. Tyler.
Oh, you can follow me on Twitter at Tyler Bio Rodriguez. Usually basically just kind of shooting the shit with historians. And I'm almost ready to launch my actual own YouTube channel. My videos editing actually right now, the first project.
Nice.
Storytellers Guild's gonna be the name of the channel when it's up.
Nice.
Sweet.
Awesome. I like that name.
Yeah.
And you can find me everywhere at Organoid Zero. By the time this is done, I'll be finishing up The Last of Us 2, and then next month I'll be doing all horror, except for at the end of the month I'll be doing Gotham Knights, but I'll be mainly starting off with the RE8 third-person view, because
Hell
I need
yeah.
that in my bones. But all right, we will see you all next time.